So hi everyone, my name is Khush and wait a second. So today this is the chapter 5 of Python series. Here we are discussing OOPS, object-oriented programming, in which we discuss classes, objects, and the core pillars. Okay, there are four pillars, I will tell you. So OOPS is a slightly bigger topic, but trust me, once it clicks, you will level up straight into the real software engineering thinking. Okay. I don't know why some people said oops is very difficult concept. I don't think so. Like oops is very easy concept. You need to understand the syntax and how it works. Like okay, so oops is very easy concept, but it is very important concept of the whole Python series. So please understand it properly. If you ever want to build your own advanced desktop AI assistant, Hoop is the framework that keeps your code from falling apart. It's simply a way of bringing real world things into code. Okay. So today the table of contents are classes and objects, init and self function, intents versus class variables, inheritance, polymorphisms and encapsulation, magic, dunder methods, mini program and homework. So like there are four pillars of OOPS we have discussed in this class. Uh, okay, wait. Okay, there are four pillars of OOPS. First is inheritance. Second, polymorphism. Third is encapsulation, and fourth is abstraction. So we will discuss all four pillars. So started from classes and objects, the ultimate blueprint. So what is classes? A blueprint design or a plan. It doesn't contain any physical thing by itself. It just describes the rules. Okay. Like we have to create classes. Okay. See, it is same like function. We have to create classes, but in classes we have to define functions also. Like we will discuss after that. So after that, what is object? The actual physical thing built using that blueprint. It gets real memory allocated to it. Okay. So what is real world analogy? When Tony Stark builds a new suit, he first design it in 3D on a computer. That design is the class. Okay. Like first we will design a 3D set on a computer. So this design is a class. The actual suit he built using that design, Mark 1, Mark 42, Hulkbuster suits. Okay, Hulkbuster suit. The one he can actually wear, like Hulkbuster suit, like in Infinity War, I think, like in Infinity War, he used Hulkbuster suit to fight with Hulk. Like, do you know that? Like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so this that is the Hulkbuster suit. So those are objects. Okay, like after creating the design, we have to create objects. Okay, we have to create objects that we after that we told that objects for printed like for printed the value which is inside the class. Okay. First step, the empty blueprint. Like this is the design we have created. The class Iron Man suit. Iron Man suit is like a variable. Okay. Like in function we have to first write here def and function name. So this is same like that. Like learn the syntax how to write the oops, how to create a class and how to make an object. Okay, so first how to create a class, first write class, then here the variable name. You can write as it your own. Okay, so first I am here passing pass statement because I am not printing anything here now. Okay, so pass means the blueprint is empty for now. Okay. So object creation. This is object creation. we have to write the class name here and take this into a object. This is like a variable, but you can call it here object. Okay. So this is a object one. An actual suit is built in memory. This is a mark one, print mark one. So see that like Iron Man suit object. Okay, this is the object. This is showing that you are creating an object. Okay, so I will tell you this is a function we have discussed in the previous class. Now, ooh, so class Iron Man suit. Okay, now I am here entering the past statement. So now we have to create it the suits like objects. Objects now we have to enter Iron Man. Okay. Now print mark one. See Iron Man object. Okay. So now this is stored in and any address of the memory. Okay. This is like this is a memory name. Now let be a text is just a memory address. See that this is a memory address that you have shown in like that here. Python's way of saying here's an object, but I don't know how you want it to look yet. We will fix this later using a dunder method. Topic 6. Now example 2 adding attributes and variables. Okay. Attributes and variables are same. See that. Here's the class name Iron Man suit. Now this is a attributes. Okay. This is the attributes. Wait a second. This is the like attribute variable. Okay. Now this is the value of that attribute. The second attribute is the value of an attribute. Now here we are creating an object. Now if you want an attribute from the class, then you need to uh, if you need like create a variable from the class, you need to like how you like write. Okay. So this is the way to write if you need a variable from the class. This is the way like first you write the object name, okay, then dot, then what you need, okay. This is the creator attribute, then the creator, okay. If you need like power source, then you write mark 42. Mark 42 is an object name because like you here enter the class name, the all the attributes is passed to an object mark 42. Then if you write the object name here, then you also like you also called all the attributes from the class. Okay, so here the object name, then dot, then the here the attributes. Okay, so I will tell you now. Creator Iron Man. Okay, now who is the power source? Arc reactor. If you are a Marvel fan, let you know that who is the power source. Okay, what is the power source of Iron Man? That is the arc reactor. So power source. Yeah. Now, if you want the creator of that Iron Man suit, so dot C, it already like giving the attributes, all the attributes of that class, like creator, power source. So if we enter creator, and now see that Iron Man. And if you enter power source, then it is giving our creator. Okay. So this is how we get the attributes from the class after creating an object. Okay. This is the simple definition. So this is how we are getting the attributes from the class after creating an object. This is an object, this is a class, and this is how we get. Okay. Like first we have to enter the object name, then dot, then what you need attributes. Okay. Because all the attributes is now the power of object. Now adding methods and actions. This is a class and this is the class name. Now see that this is a function. Now we are using functions inside the class. Okay. Now this is a function. This is a function name, and this is a self keyword. Now, like self keyword, what is the self keyword? See that. See, it literally means my own self. It tells Python that this piece of data belongs to this specific object we are currently talking about. Okay. So, like, see here, like this is the self. Self is telling you that this is the object that we are talking about. This is the specific object that we are talking about. Okay. So we have to write self in all the functions we are we will create it we will create in the class. Okay. Like we are creating uh, 10 functions in the class. So we will write self in on all the functions. Okay. In that class. Self is the connecting wire between all the functions and the class. Okay. You have to write the self in all the functions. Now, okay, this is a self. Now, in function, we are printing thrusters engaged taking off. So this is mark 44, and here this is the class, and we have created one object, and like here we are calling function that is present inside the class. Okay, so this is the object name, and this is the function name. The object use the blueprints function. Okay. This is a function name, and inside the function, like we already printed something, so this will print in the output. Okay. Hmm, Great. I will create a name. Def Iron Man two. Oh, sorry. First, we have to create class. And one more thing, like when you are creating class, uh, when you are creating class and write the name of that class, like this variable Iron Man suit, please write the first digit capital. This is a good way of creating class. Okay, like iron and capitalize. If you want to like this, if you want to like capitalize the second word also, second word first letter, then you can do that. Okay, so this looks good. Like now Iron Man suit. Now we are creating the def function suit. Okay. And in the def function we are calling self and function we are printing thrusters engage. Okay. Now we need to create an object in which we are defining class. Okay. So mark 42, 40, yeah, mark 44 and Iron Man suit. Now if you are writing object name dot function, now you can access all the function inside the class. If you write like many functions, you can access all of that. Now suit. You also want to write, like you also need to write these brackets also. To run the code, see that thrusters engaged. Okay. So what is the init constructor and the self mystery? Like init a special function, the constructor that runs automatically the moment an object is created. It is used to give a new object its starting details. Okay, like this is the init function. So when we create the object, okay, when we create the object, it is used to give a new object its starting detail. Okay, so this is the starting detail, and every new player start with 100 health automatically. The print statement runs automatically. See that. Uh, this is also mandatory. The first function of that class is like init function. You have to write this. Okay. So this is the class, and this is the function in which we are writing self, and this is the variable. Okay. So this is a variable we are taking that self dot health is 100. Now print new player spawn. The print statement runs automatically. This is where we created an object and we are calling the health part of that object. Okay. Mhm. Let P1 dot health. Now health uses new player spawn and 100. Hmm. Class player first, like first alphabet of the word is capitalized. Now we have to define a function with init. Okay, init self. Now self dot health. We are taking 100. Now we are printing player font. Okay. Now we are taking an object named P1. P1 player. Now we are calling P1 dot health. See, it is printing player's font because in the function we are only printing player's font. If we write this in the print state, right? Now see that it also showing like 100 value because now we write p1 dot health and now this also is running. Okay. This is the example to AI assistant UI configuration. Advanced. See how init and the self are actually used in a real world scenario. See that this is a class named AI assistant and this is the first function in which like first you have to write the self and if you want pass some value to the object then you write the here the like attribute. This is the attributes you are taking from the objects when you are creating the objects. Okay. So this is the attributes first, second, and you are taking these attributes from the like calling the self objects. Okay. Like my name, the name that was passed in, and my UI, the UI that was passed in. Okay. This is the UI that you passed in. Okay. So this is the first function, this is the second function, and in the second function you also write the self part, and here you are printing self dot name. So this will take this will take here. So see that I will tell you how this code is working. Okay, after creating the object, creating two different AI objects from the same blueprint. So these are like two objects. Okay, this is the same class. So we are creating the one class over here. Now we are passing two values. This first the AI name and the UI type. For the Jarvis read.js and the Friday standard HTML and CSS. Okay. So now first the Jarvis and 3.js. This is the first object. First these two values are passed in the attributes over here. Jarvis in the AI type and the 3.js in the UI type. Okay. So now this value is passed in that, okay, AI name and UI type. So from here, this value is passed in the self.name and self.ui. So this is now the new variable name in which you have the value Jarvis and the 3.js. Okay, so these are the now two variable name. So in the second function, we are printing these two values. uh, Here self.name. Now in self.name we have Jarvis and in like and in also self.name we have value Jarvis and rendering interface using self.ui we having 3.js, okay, particles. So when we call the first when we call the first object, okay, when we call the first object then it is printing Jarvis, booting up Jarvis rendering interface using dash. And when we call the second object, it is like printing Friday, booting up Friday rendering interface using HTML CSS particles. See that Jarvis booting up Jarvis Friday rendering. Okay, see how this code is working. Now I am telling you after writing this code. Hmm. Class, you have to write class small, class AI assistant. Assistant in which we have to first define first function in it, and with self you have to enter AI type and UI type. Okay, now you are like creating two attributes. Now you have to enter both of the two attributes in self dot AI. Now you can creating like any of the variable like self dot you can write anything. So self dot AI and here you are writing AI type. Now self dot UI. Now here you are typing UI dot type. Okay. Now you are creating that second function. What is the second function name? Boot up. Boot up. Also write to here self because now self is connected. All the self is connected. If you write like functions, 4 5 functions, you have to also write self in all the functions. Now the all the functions are connected if you write self in all the functions. Okay. So after writing this, you have to print the f string part. Uh, First self dot AI in the curly brackets self dot AI booting up. I am copying this. Now what we have rendering interface using particles. Rendering interface using self dot UI particles. Okay. Now what you have to do? Now you have to make two objects. First object is Jarvis, and in Jarvis we have to write the class name here, AI assistant, and in class name we have to type two values for the attributes. Okay, so AI type is Jarvis and 3.js, है ना? AI type is Jarvis and UI type is 3.js. So same here in checking. HTML, CSS, JS. This is Friday. But the Jarvis is the love for like Iron Man. Because Jarvis know like if does the Iron Man have any problem or not. And Friday like follows the instruction which is given by the like Iron Man. Only followed the instruction. Jarvis like talk like a person to the Iron Man. Jarvis is the like real AI assistant. Okay. Jarvis is the like uh, same like human being. If you have like any problem, you will talk to a human. Like they will answer and they will ask the question like, "How are you? Are you fine or not?" Okay. So Jarvis is like a person, but the Friday is like a only assistant. Like it follows the instruction gave by the Iron Man. Okay. So now we have to call. Now we have to write first object with tagging function, and in function we have to write these brackets, and in the second rather than function. Now see Jarvis booting up Jarvis rendering interface using keyword particle, Friday booting up Friday rendering interface using HTML. Now see how it's working. Here we are calling that object with the function. Okay, So now these values is passing in that Jarvis is passing in AI type and 3.js is passing in UI type. So these values is passing in that AI type and UI type, and this value is passed from here to here, self.ai and self.ui. Now self.ai has Jarvis and self.ui has uh, 3.js. Okay. So in second function, so we are calling the second function because so in second function we are simply printing those values from the first function to the second function. Okay. So self.ai we are printing and same this is printing as the same, and we are printing also the self.ai self.ui here. Okay. So simple like that. Okay. And we have to write self here because self is connecting both the function. That's why uh, that's why like we are using the first function value into the second function. Okay. So this example is done. Same class, same init, but two completely independent objects with their own data. That's the whole point of self. Okay. So instance versus class variable. Class variable, a rule that's shared the same across every object of that class. A rule that shared the same across every object of the class. Okay. Uh, then like we have added two class that the rules for the two class is same because the class is same. An instance variable data created using self unique personal to each individual object. Like in class, this is the class variable and this is shared by everyone. Okay, this is this is the rule like which is shared in the like in the every object that you have created. Okay, and this is the instance variable unique to each student. This is unique. If you like write different names in different things, that then it taking different values from the objects. Okay, see like that. Name branch are different. Like it is instance because you have created a different object. Okay, but the university is the same for both class. Here, S1 is university. University. Okay, university is same for the both of the students. This is the same. So we have created half an art class. So first, we have to create the student class. Okay, class student, and this is the first. This is the class variable. We are creating. This is the class variable, and these are instance variable. Okay, that is different for individual objects. University professional university. Okay, so now you have to create function with init. Okay, init. You have to pass value which is name and branch. Now you have to take variable in self dot name. Okay, self dot branch. Okay, you are taking both the things. Now you have to take two variables, two students objects. Now you have to write class name here and pass two values, name and branch. Branch is BTech, same like that for student 2. Branch is different branch, huh? That's why I'm confusing it. CSC and BTech AIML. The name is Mayan. This is the student 2. Okay, thank you. So we have to call that object also. Now you have to print first s1 dot name and s1 dot branch. Same for student 2. Now, oh, second one is student 2. Okay, now you have to print s1 dot university. Now, because university is common, that's why like university will print lovely professional university. Same like that for student 2. Now see that result. Push BTech CSC because this is working because push is going to name and this is going to branch and this will go to self dot name and this will go to self dot branch. Now we are printing from object s1 dot name. So this is taking name from here. So name is push and this is BTech CSC. So that's why and university is same. So this is the instance variable and this is the class variable. Okay. So this is the instance variable and this is the class variable. To understand this concept, this is easy peasy. So this is the first pillar of the OOPS, which is inheritance. Simple definition, like inheriting a family property, inheritance means new class child automatically gets all the variable and methods of an existing class parent for free. So you never have to copy paste code. Like if your father has if your father has property first period, like if your grandfather have property and some reason your grandfather uh, were died, okay, then all the properties were like will go to your father. Okay, this will happen like in our family. Okay, same like that. This is like inheritance. When you created the first class and you created the second class, like if you want the existing like functions and the objects functions and variables methods all the things of the first class, then you have a method of inheritance. You will simply write the first name of the class in the second class. Then you are the child of the first class, and first class is the parent class. See like that. First class is the parent class, and second one is the child class, and it it has all the function of the first class, like all the math variable methods functions. It automatically gets all the functions from the first class, from the parent class. Okay, it is same like that. Like your grandfather, all the property is transferred to your father, and all the property will be transferred to you if your father have any property left. Okay, so this is the method. So in that we have to create it two. We will create two class. First, like we are creating animal, and second class we are creating dog. Okay, so we need like first class things also in the second class. So we are simply writing the first class name here, like class name, and in class name we are writing animal part. Okay, so this is the function. So this is a function. So this is the first object, and like here we are accessing only dog part because like in dog part we also have the permissions to get. If I want the part from animal, then we also have like all the methods and functions in the dog part. Okay, so we are accessing only the dog part. Now first, if you are want eat part, because like eat part in the is in the animal. So if you want the eat part, like we have access for the eat part also. Got this for free from the parents. Okay, got this from for free from the parent. The child is child's own feature. This is the own feature of child. This is the parent feature. Like your father genes is also transferred to you. That's like that. Okay. So first, I'm doing this all the command. Now we have to create and function. What is the function name? Function name is animal. Animals. Okay. In animal, we have the eat part. Okay. You can writing many functions here. Self, like you are writing note and print in grass. Okay. So now you are taking different class name giraffe. You can write like that. So in giraffe, you also need to write animals. So you are taking over the access of the animals. Okay. Now animals is the parent class and giraffe is the child class. This is known as inheritance, like inherit from the parent to the child class. Inherit. Okay. You are taking something from the upper class. First, understand the meaning of the word. Okay, inheritance. Inheritance means inherit from like particular things from the second thing. So this is same like that. You are like uh, taking the access from the parent class to the child class. Okay. Now bark. Uh, I'm writing like here bark. Okay. Def bark self print. Wow. Okay. So now you have to create like object, and in an object you have to call like child class because child class has all the property of parent class. You only need to call the child class. Now print my giraffe dot eat, then my giraffe dot see that result. Bound method animal dot eat an object. Oh, because this is a function, so you have to write this also. Okay. Now see that result. Eating grass, none. Why it is giving me none also? 2, 8, the 8 part is running. And in bar. Oh, see, that, like. Like, see, we are printing here, then why we are printing again here? So that's why, like, first it is this printed like eating grass. Like, second, then this value is passed in here, and again this is printing, so it is printing none value. Okay. So, like, first we are printing here, then why we are printing again in the next layer? Oh, see, this is perfect. Okay. Now we are printing here and eating grass. So this is the second example, sci-fi robot and super. So this is a super function. Okay. When a child needs the parent in it and wants to add its own new feature, we use super. Okay. So see like that. Like if you want the init function from the parent class, okay, and in new object you want to enter new designation, okay, new designation, then there is a method called super. Okay, like you have to write super in the child class, like super dot, like you need init function, so init, and what is the like attribute do you want like to change. So here we are entering designation because here is the one attribute, like we will enter like 2 3 attributes. Okay, so here we are writing designation and this is the alternate mode. Okay, this is the alternate mode. So alternate mode is self dot alt mode. And yeah, that transform self prints self designation transforming into self dot old mode. Chuck chuck chuck. And see like that. This is a transformer. Sorry, this is a transformer, and here we are passing two values, Optimus Prime and Peterbilt truck, and these values is passed in the designation and alternate mode. Okay, so uh, now now this value like alternate mode is going into self dot alt mode, and the Optimus Prime designation value is going into self dot designation. Okay, so this works like opposite. Okay, so here we are calling the transform because in transform we are printing all those things like self dot designation transforming into self dot alt mode. So this is how it's working. Like we will take simple example. This is like a complex wording, and if you write this, you think like this is a complex example. Okay, so we will take the simple example uh, in that. Mm, We will take simple example for that. Okay. See like that. First, first, like I'm commenting this all, and I'm taking the class. Okay. I'm creating the class person here. Capitalize the first letter of the word. So we are creating the init function of, and now passing two values, name and age. And after that, we have to store name and age in the self dot okay. Name and self dot age. Age. Now you have to write class student and take the all the methods or functions from the parent class. Okay. Person. Now you have to make first init here also. Okay. See like it already it automatically like write all the code. I'm cutting this and writing myself. Okay. So like I am taking name and age from the person. Okay. And because if I have to change like this, and also I'm taking two more attributes here, right? Two more attributes, force and gender. Okay, so now you also have to enter super. Super is a function dot init. Okay, now you have to enter the upper attributes name, the upper attributes name only, name and age. Okay, so also like this is the new attribute, so you have to enter the self dot course and gender here also. Okay, this is the whole code. Now we are taking object and writing the child class name and giving the values. First, I am giving value push and age 20 and force tag and gender male. Okay, so now we will print one by one all the things. Print like I'm printing in that a dot name, a dot age, a, a dot gender, and a dot force. Now see how it's working. Force 20 male B tag. Okay. So this is how if you change the upper attributes name also in the child class. Like if you want only call the child class after creating an object. Okay. So you have to enter super function, which is very beneficial. Okay. So super function dot init, and inside the function you have to write the attributes that you want to change, that is present uh, in the first class. Okay, so that's all. Now, okay, now what is polymorphism and encapsulation? This is the second and this is the third pillar of oops. Okay, so polymorphism, one name many forms, the same function the same function name behaves differently in different classes. Okay, and encapsulation is data hiding, protecting sensitive data from being hacked or changed by mistake. Putting double underscore before a variable name makes it private. So this is an example of polymorphism method overriding. Okay. So this is a class based phone network self print latest phone. Base phone, the child rejects the parent's method and overrides it with its own. F network self print connecting to ultra fast 5G. My phone, latest phone. So this is overriding method. One name and many forms. Like see that in first class in base phone, the first function is def network. Okay, and in the second class, latest phone, you have same function, the same name def network, but the different values. In print, we are like giving the value connecting to 4G, and in second function, we are giving the value connecting to ultra fast 5G. Okay, so the child rejects the parent method and overrides it with its own. Okay, Okay, so this is like there is the same name function in the different classes, but like you are taking also the parent class, all the things like functions, but you are creating the same name function. So like it overrides the parent method with its own. Okay, so it prints their own function. Simple. Like now we are trying this example. First taking class response, and in that we have to create def network with self and print something. Print, what are you printing? 4G network. 4G network. Okay. So after that, we are creating the second class, new phone, and in new phone, we are taking all the things of the base phone. And now this is the child class. Now we are creating the same function that we we had writing in the first class. No, here we are printing something else. 5G network from fast. Okay, now we are taking all the attributes instead of network. Now see 5G alternate fast network is the output. So this is also known as method overriding because like you write the same method and the first class. That's why it is like the child class is overriding the method of the parent class. And also we are at encapsulation, hiding data. Like we are hiding the data which is not important to the user. Okay. So first we are created class, the class name. Okay. And this is the function in which we use init and self. And in self we are taking the second one. So we are here encapsulation, hiding the data. So encapsulation means the important data like inside the capsule, and inside the capsule we don't know like which type of medicine is in the capsule. So so encapsulation is like a capsule in which we are hiding the data. Okay, same like that. Like first understand the meaning of the word, then understand the code, like what the word is telling to us. Okay, so first we are here by creating a class. This is a class name, this is a function name, and this is a init function, and here we are calling self. And see that in self, we are writing balance, but before balance, we are writing two underscore. Like, what is that meaning? What is the meaning of two underscore uh, before writing the any attribute? This is like private variable. This two underscore before any attributes, it makes the variable private. You cannot access. Uh, you cannot access like if you calling. Okay, like if you want to print output and if you want access of the balance from init function, you cannot access. Okay, so this is the whole point. This is known as encapsulation, in which we are hiding the important data from the user. Okay, this is instruction. Now this is the second function, deposit self amount. If amount is greater than zero, then self dot balance uh, is equal to self dot balance plus amount, and the amount which we are passing in the function is passed in the amount, then it adds to the balance. Okay, so this is the third function, show balance. Okay, self return balance, self dot balance is shows the total amount which we have given. See, like I'm telling you after writing all the code. Now, first we have to create bank balance. The stream is the recording is start. So class bank account, bank account. So first init, init, and in init we are creating balance self dot balance equal to. So first we are taking the balance zero. Now this is a private attribute. Okay. Now in second function we are creating the deposit. Okay. So deposit. In deposit we are passing self function, and if amount, if first we have to take the amount variable also. Yeah, here we have to take the amount variable also. Now if amount is greater than zero, then you have to add in self dot balance. Self dot balance plus equal to amount. Okay, now is done. Now uh, if you want like the whole balance, okay. So this is the third function, show balance. Now f show balance. We have to pass self here. Yeah, show balance print. Okay, what we have to print? Self balance. Now, so f string outside f string. Now we have to print total self dot balance. Okay, now we are creating a method. Okay, method name is account. Account is equal to balance account. Account is equal to bank account. Now we, if we access the self dot balance, if we access the balance, then see that what is what it's give, like account print. Okay, account dot balance. Now see, it gives error or not. See, it gives error. Okay, account dot balance, because bank account object has no attribute. Bank account has attribute balance. Then first we need to add some money in it. Then after that, oh, we don't have balance. We have, yeah. Now, now see what it gives. Bank account object has no attribute balance. Did you mean show balance? Okay, now see that in show balance, we don't, we have to pass here also underscore underscore. Okay, but in show balance, like we can access the whole amount in the show balance. First, count dot deposit. I enter 1,000 rupees. Okay, if I check show balance, wait, show balance. Now, why don't give the output? Bank account has no attribute balance. Bank account has no attribute balance. The balance, right? Oh, see, here we also don't write, like we will forget to write underscore underscore. Okay, now they all are like same balance. Okay, now if I check that it gives 1,000. Okay, now if I check print account dot underscore underscore balance, see, it gives error. It don't show the output. Okay, so this line gives error because here uh, we are set the balance variable to the private. Okay, so we cannot see the direct variable. We cannot see the direct value of the variable from after after writing underscore underscore balance. So here is the whole point. If you don't need to give access, you don't want to give access to the user, uh, that they can access the balance and any other important information. So you can write the underscore underscore. So the whole variable is private, will be private. Okay, see that. Okay, anything with the sensitive data, money, password, health data. Okay, Like this is the sensitive data, like confidential data that you cannot share to other. Okay, should general be private and accessed only through method you control. Okay, so this is like the method you control. If you want to access the data, so this method is only known by you. Okay, so you can access the data if you know the method, how you call the variable, that variable. Okay, so this is the method. And same like that, we also have getter and setter methods. Get getter method, a method whose only job is to safely read and return the value of a private variable. Okay, same like that, same like that. Like in here, we are creating the different function, and in here, after setting the salary to be private, we are creating the getter method. Getter method is similar like that. Uh, we only like safely read the private value. Okay, so like getter method is uh, you like known by simply. If you need the value, then you can set the like get and the same value name. Okay, get salary. So you can access the variable easily. If the variable is private, you can access the variable easily by setting the getter method. Okay, so this is simple. Setter method. So what is setter method? A method whose only job is to safely update the value of a private variable, usually after checking that the new value actually makes sense. See that? Safely update the private value with a check. Here we are defining that salary. Okay. So new salary, if new salary is greater than zero, then self dot salary is equal to new salary. So new salary is going to self dot salary. Okay, in this variable. Else salary cannot be negative or zero. This is the whole point. Will be rejected by check. If the salary is greater than zero, then the salary is going to the salary part. If the salary is less than zero, then it will be rejected. Okay, wait. I'm checking the IPO. Like I applied in the MV electro system IPO, and today is the day when the allotment is coming. Okay, so I'm checking the IPO allotment. Okay, so here, okay, understood. Understood the concept. Like in getter method, we are simply make the function if we want to get the value of a private variable, then we can access. Okay. So I don't get the MV macro system IPO. Like I only applied from one load. Okay, from one ID. So I know I have very less chance to get this IPO. It's okay. I will apply it next time. Okay. So this is the getter and setter method. In setter, we are defining the like we are defining the another function in which we are in which we are writing the new value in the old variable. Okay, like new salary is gone to the self dot salary, which is private part. Okay, so if salary is greater than zero, then this is else. Here we are writing the name and the salary, and we are accessing the salary. If we check directly the salary, then it also gives error. Okay, commenting this and telling you the concept. First, we have to create the class which is employee. Then we have to write inner init. Okay, def init, and in init we have to pass two variables, which is also known as attributes. Then we have to write self dot name equal to name, and then we have to private the salary. So we have to write self dot for underscore salary is salary. Okay. Now the salary is private. Now we have to create the second function, get salary. If if we check the salary, then this is a method to get the salary, get salary. Okay, get salary. We are writing the self part and return self dot underscore underscore salary. For this return the salary. Then we have to write the another function in which we are updating the private value f set set salary. Okay, new set salary else if here we also write new salary, or if new salary is greater than zero, so we need to write what. So if new salary is greater than zero, uh, we need to write the old salary name is equal to new salary. Okay, this is the whole point. Else, else but we are giving salary cannot be negative or zero. Zero. Okay. Now this is the getter function. This is a getter function. Now we have to create the class and pass the value and check. Uh, okay. So S1 print what salary. So see First, we pass value. Okay. Here we are passing push and value 3000. So if we access the salary, it gives error. Okay. So if we write here, if we write here get salary, then see it gives the salary. So this is the whole point. Okay. And if we write the negative salary, like we are passing the salary here. Okay. So the salary is in the negative. If the salary is in the negative, then it takes a value. Okay, like if we enter the new salary, like wait, so net salary, and there we are passing 40,000. Okay, then we call the get salary. See, it shows 40,000. Okay. Now if I enter minus, salary cannot be negative or zero. Like new salary, if I enter negative, then it shows the else part of the code. Okay. See how it's working. Question 50,000 is go into the salary and name. Okay, the name is going to sell dot name, and in get salary, we are accessing only the value. Okay. So like if we directly access the this part, then we cannot access because this is private variable. If we pass this variable into another function, okay, and return the value, so this is not private. So we can access the function and we got the value which is private in another function. Okay, so this is the method, and this is a set getter method, and this is a setter method, like in which we like in another attribute we set the new attribute and the value goes into the old attribute which is private. So this is a setter method. So this is the whole point. Okay, this is the getter and setter method. This is very important. Okay, why not just make it public then? Because a setter let you because a setter lets you add rules like salary can never be negative. A plain public variable has no such protection. Anyone could set a1.salary is equal to minus 500 directly and nothing would stop them. The Pythonic way using at the rate property, advanced part. Python has a cleaner, more elegant way to write getter and setter using the property decorator. So this is a decorator, okay? It lets you use them like normal attributes, no parentheses needed, while still keeping the safety checks. Now this is a new method of writing getter and setter. Like this is a property decorator. This at the rate property is known as decorator. This is known as decorator. Okay, so this works same like that. Like this is a class employee, and this is a init salary. We private this, and this is the property. And at the rate property means this is a getter method. Okay, this acts as a getter. So def salary. Okay, and salary dot setter. This is a setter method. The new salary is that. Then this looks like the normal variable, but it's a getter. Okay, so even dot salary. See, this is like that. Okay, you like don't need to write the get underscore salary. You don't need to make like new function. This is also a new function, but this is simply like write the salary. You can like write simple salary here. Okay, but uh, you have to write here property decorator, and this works as getter. Okay, and here you need to write salary dot setter. Okay, so this is a decorator. Like practice this question. Practice this question. Like your concept is your concept will clear. Okay. Now, what is abstraction? Abstraction is also like same like encapsulation. So the definition of abstraction means hiding the complicated inner details of how something works and only showing the essential feature the user actually needs. Same like that. Okay. Real world analogy. Think about driving a car. You press the accelerator to go faster. You don't need to know how fuel engine pistons and the combustion actually works internally. Like you don't know how the engine is established. Okay, engine is developed. You don't know how every spare parts is connected. You don't know how they are connected. Okay, you only need to know how to drive a car. Okay, so the car abstracts away all the complexity and only gives you the simple pedal to press. This is a simple way to understand the word abstraction. You only need to important part of the things. You don't need to know all the parts of the things. Okay, like uh, like this is a simple method. Like in if you are a CSC student, you only like need to the software thing. You don't need to how the laptop is made. Okay, like the motherboard, not the PCU. You don't need to you don't need to know that. Okay, you only need to how to work in that laptop, how to make the softwares, how to make the websites. You only need to know that. Okay, so this is known as abstraction. In Python, we achieve abstraction using abstract classes, a special kind of blueprint that cannot be used to create object directly. It forces every child class to implement certain method without dictating exactly how they should do it. We use the built-in ABC module for this. Okay, so like this is a ABC module. So we are accessing the ABC and the abstract method. Okay, so this is a abstract class because here we are writing the abstract method. Okay, so def pay self amount. No actual logic here. Children must define it. Children UPI payment method pay self dot amount. So this is a second class in which we access the parent class also, and we are writing the same function here also. This is known as polymorphism also. Okay, so here we are writing the same thing. The line would error because payment method is abstract. We write like payment method. If we write this directly, the payment method and make an object here, so this gives error because this information we are hiding from the user. because this is not important to the user. Okay, like we are not writing anything here. Okay, so that's not means like we will not write anything here. In like real code we are writing here if we want to hide the important information from the user. So this is an example. Okay, so this is a child class. If we access the child class, then like we can access the same function. Okay, because we are creating the same function here. This is also the same function. Like we cannot access the abstract class here. Okay, so first we need to access the ABC abstract method. Private this, commenting this from ABC abstract method. Okay, these are two things. ABC is like capital. Okay, now we have to create class class payment method, and here we are in ABC. Now we abstract this that method. Okay. So this is a abstract method we are using. Okay, so then we need to write function here. So I am copying this simply. Oh, Copilot is right. I think I press the shortcut key for Copilot window plus C. That's why. Okay. So this is a function we created, and same like that we create the another class and pass the same thing there. Now class PI payment and pass the payment method here. Uh, Now the same function. This time we print amount. We print amount, amount paid by UPI amount. Yes. I think I also need to write here size wrote down. Oh, here size wrote. Why it is not giving the Oh, wait, because I'm not writing the F part here now. Wait, yeah. You have to check like all the things. Like you have to like the good mind for this coding. Okay, good analytical and logical skills. In coding, you have to check all the conditions, all the things before writing the code. Okay, and when you writing the code, you also check all the things is correctly working. Now we have to create the class. See, if I create the class from first class, or method from first class, payment method. Now if I access the pay, pay, it gives error or not. See, it gives error. A payment method with abstract method pay can't instantiate abstract class. Okay. Now if we use UPI payment, now if we access the pay and giving the value, we have to give the value. I have 5,000 here. Amount paid by UPI 5,000. It is what. So I write the pay here also. Well, because I write the print statement in the function, so I no don't need to write the print statement here also. So abstraction versus encapsulation. What is the difference? Don't confuse them. Encapsulation hides data like balance to protect it. Abstraction hides implementation complexity and forces a consistent structure across child classes. They are often used together, but they solve different problems. They are same like that. They are hide the important data from the user. Okay. So now this is magic render method underscore underscore str underscore underscore. What is the definition? Render double underscore method are Python's hidden magical function. If you directly print an object, okay, if you directly print an object, Python normally shows you a strange memory address as we saw back in topic one. Like did you see that the like line is writing object at and the memory allocation okay given okay that is like memory address and using str we can tell python exactly what should be displayed to the user when the object is printed. See here we are creating the movie class and in movie class we are creating the function self self we are taking the self and title and genre. So we are taking the variables in self dot and genre. We are getting the second function in which we are writing the underscore str. Okay. So this gives the title and genre. Now, if we are creating an object movie and giving to title and genre and simply printing like we are here printing simply object. We are not printing like M1 like M1 dot title M1 dot genre. We are simply printing M1. So it automatically like prints this str. Okay, so this is the like directly, like you can access the object. Okay. See, if you directly print an object, indirectly you are not accessing the different you are not accessing the different variable at a different time. You can access it them directly. Gesture is the one of the most common render methods, but Python has many more, like plan, add, keep, question, and we are keeping it for str for now since it's the one you will use the most as a beginner. Okay, so see also this search in your chat GPT and check how this works. Okay, this is same also like that. If you check this, this is also the simple methods. Okay, so I am printing all this. I think you understand this code easily. So I am printing all this and I am only checking this output. Like I am showing you the output. This code is working properly or not. Okay. See that transformer genre sci-fi. First this is transfer to the title and genre and this transfer to this and this function is running so it returns the value. So it prints directly the title and genre. Okay. This is how it working. So now we are creating the mini program practice, the secure bank system. This is the small practice where class, object, encapsulation, and methods are all being used together. Make sure to type this into VS Code and run it yourself. Okay. So this is a class, secure bank. This is a bank name. This is you know that this is a class variable here. You can access it. Okay. And this is for same for everyone. Now this is the init function. This is self owner balance, and owner is Vasu. This balance is private. Okay. Now this shows the bank name and the owner name. The balance is private. So deposit first we deposit the value. If the value is greater than zero, then we add the value to the amount. Then withdraw if uh, amount is greater than zero. Okay, and the amount is less than or equal to self dot balance. Suppose if the amount from your balance, then you have greater balance than the amount you withdraw. So it is checking the both condition. Then the self dot balance you can minus the amount you have withdrawn to print that. Else the print transaction failed insufficient balance using a dunder method for clean output. So this is str return this and this. So let's test it out. In here, we are creating an object. We are passing two values, name and the amount. Then we have deposited 1500 and withdraw 500. Print my account because we are creating a render method. So this simply runs this. So it simply run welcome to my Python. Welcome to Python Developers Bank. Push 1500 deposited balance 6500 and return 500. So balance is 6000. Account push and available balance is 6000. So how it's work. I will tell you right this code. So I'm commenting this whole and we start after creating the object. First, we have to make the class secure bank capital S. The bank name developer finds. This is a class variable. Okay, you know that it's a class variable. Okay, we have to make the init function as init to pass the value. So self dot balance and to private the balance. Review. Okay, to create the deposit part, which has amount if and zero. Okay, so this is a deposit system. If the amount is greater than zero, so we have to add this as dot balance plus is equal to amount. Okay, then we have to print as this dollar. We are taking dollar. Okay. So amount deposited from it okay. So this is the amount that we deposited and the balance is that and the balance is that after adding the amount. Adding that amount. So after that we have to create the withdraw function. So self count and then if and we have to check the if the if and is less than equal to self. If is if amount is greater than its self dot balance, then it is not possible. Okay, then you self dot amount. We have to minus the amount that we have to withdraw. Okay, and print. So we have to print how much we take from the amount or take from the account from balance. Here we also get in calculated. That is the this part now is correct. Transaction failed, insufficient balance. If the amount you entered is greater than the amount is in your bank, then this is the sufficient amount, the insufficient amount that you have entered. Okay, so you have to print transaction failed, insufficient balance. Okay, now you have to create the uh, render method for like clean output. If you want, then you can write. If you don't want, then you can don't write. Okay. So yes, we are done. Yes, account also table balance is bank dot balance. So this is the last balance that is uh, available. And okay, then simply we have to create the object account with your bank. So we have to enter first name and then the amount, the balance. Okay, owner name and the balance. Now, if I deposit, if I deposit the amount like 2000, and I withdraw the amount 1500, then print, I have to simply enter my account because this is the render method. Okay, this is a shortcut method. So now see the output. I write the both values in the same uh, this quick dot double quote. Then if I enter, then see that $2,000 deposit balance 7,000 because I enter the 5,000 initially, and after 1,500 my withdrawn amount, the total balance is 5,500. Okay, and this is the last balance we have, so 5,500. Now this is a mini program that you see. Okay, so practice this type of program yourself. Now this is a five most important homework questions. First, class and object data. Class laptop with attributes brand and RAM. Create two objects and print their details. Simple questions. And init and instance. Create a student class. In init pass name and CGPA. Create an object and print name as code CGPA. Okay. So class variable. Create a web page class with the class variable. Hosting domain is equal to infinityfree.com. Creating an object and print its domain. Inheritance. create a user class with a logic method, create a premium user class that inherited user and adds a download files method, create an object of premium user and test both method. So read the question again. This is very simple questions that you have that you can do with your own. Like covered all the example related to that questions, so you can check also. And the encapsulation question: create a gym member class, keep weight private, write a method, update weight to change it safely, and a method show weight to print it. Getter, setter plus abstraction. Part A: create a car class with private speed, right, get speed and set speed, where the stellar reject any negative speed. Part B: create an abstract class, shape with abstract method area, create two child classes, square and circle, each implementing area in their own way. So these are the question. I will write this question in my description box, so you can check and practice this question as on your own. So this is the whole syllabus for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see in the next video. Okay, bye bye.